Hey everyone, James Brandon here. In this video, I'm going to go over this image that I took in Germany to go over a few things that I do in Photoshop to clean up my images and get them ready. And then the main reason is I want to show Topaz Labs' brand new program, Photo AI. It's just a really incredible all-in-one program, and it's going to do sharpening, noise reduction, and even resizing, like if you need to resize an image or make it larger rather for print. We probably won't need to do that for this image in particular. This was taken on a Sony A7R III, so it's plenty large. But I wanted to do this image just because it was a bit different. When I think of fall colors for myself, I'm usually kind of imagining mountains and rivers and winding forest paths, things like that. But this image was taken on the Rhine River in Germany, and it was just this incredible trip. I went there with my entire family, or my immediate family, my wife and my two boys, and we actually swapped houses with a family there who were friends of ours. And they flew to Texas and stayed in our house for a month, and we flew to Germany and stayed in their house for a month. So yeah, this was on the Rhine River, but even more importantly, this was taken from a boat. We were doing a Rhine River day cruise with the kids, and there was just castles all over the place, and the fall colors were peaking. And I had personally never seen fall colors on vineyards before, so it was just this really beautiful scene. So let's hop into the edit. I brought this image over from Lightroom, made very minor adjustments to it, mainly levels like highlights, bringing them down, shadows, bringing them up a little bit, maybe a touch of contrast and vibrance, but nothing crazy. No masking or anything like that. So there's really not a whole lot to do with this image, but because it was taken from a boat, we might have a little bit of motion blur in the image, even if the the image was taken at a fast shutter speed. The first thing I like to do once I get the image into Photoshop, or one of the first things, is I like to do this little trick I learned to kind of just purify the colors and kind of get any of the muddiness out of the scene. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to do is create a luminosity mask. I'm going to go over to channels, and this is really easy if you can just, take notes and remember the process. I'm going to go to the RGB channel. I'm going to command click it. It's going to give us this really weird looking marching ants overlay. And then once I get back to my layers, I'm going to hit command J, which will give us this layer that looks blank. If I turn off the background, you'll see that there is information there, but it's basically all of the pixels over 50%. And what I'm going to do next is go to my blend modes with that layer selected. I'll let's go ahead and rename this. I'll just call it Purify. And go to my blend modes, and I'm going to come down and either choose overlay or soft light. They're going to be very similar, and soft light's usually going to be a little bit more subtle, but I'm really just kind of looking for which one I like better for that particular image. And, overlay looks a little bit too vibrant. So yeah, let's go with soft light. And then if I look across the image, everything looks pretty good, honestly, but I'll usually just grab the opacity and slide that down all the way till I can see it going away. And then I kind of just toggle it back and forth and kind of find a happy medium. I think like 75, 80%, somewhere in there, right about there. That's good. And I think I would say that the highlights and the clouds right here might have gotten a little too hot. It's just pulling my attention. It's not blown out or anything. But what I'll do is grab a mask, put it on the image, or on that layer rather, pull up my brush with B, make sure I'm painting with black. You can hit X to toggle between black and white. And then I'll hit 30%. So I'll hit 3 to change my brush opacity to 30. And I'm just going to paint out the layer on the white clouds right here. Kind of sloppy. I'm not going to get super precise, but just enough to make a difference there. All right, I think that looks good. And honestly, I don't think that there's a whole lot more to do with this image. If we zoom in to 100%, we can see everything looks pretty sharp. If we go in even closer, I mean, there might be a little bit of motion blur, but nothing overtly screaming motion blur to us. But I think it's in a pretty good spot. So the next thing I'll do is go up to Filter, Topaz Labs, and then Photo AI. And actually, what I'll usually do is hit Shift Option Command E to create a new layer, and then call this just the merge. And then I'll make sure that we add the Topaz Labs to that layer. So I'll go to Photo AI, and let's hop over there. All right, here we are in Photo AI, and I want to get started quick because if you'll look over here, you'll see that the autopilot is on and it's detecting the subject. And what that means is it's actually looking at the entire image and doing its best through artificial intelligence to figure out what the subject of the image is. And the subject, in my opinion, should be the castle. You know, the fall colors, I kind of view them kind of like a sunset. You don't want to make your sunset the subject of the image, but rather a complementary part of the image. So it's the same thing with fall colors. You want to find something interesting to frame the fall colors around. So what it did was it detected, look at that. That is incredible. So it went in and automatically created a mask around what the program believes is the subject. And you can see that it's not perfect. It missed part of the roof up here, and we could go in and refine it if we wanted to, but honestly, I don't think it's super necessary right now. It detected the subject and it removed high luminance noise using the autopilot settings. So that's just for noise. Okay, so what it's done is it's gone in and looked at the image on a pixel by pixel basis, cut out the subject, and then applied a change to it based on that. And then, of course, we're looking at our before and after. If I hit Command 0, it'll zoom out to 100%. I can use Command plus or minus to zoom in, really close and see if we can tell a difference. So this is our before over here and after. So I think I might just, for this image, turn the noise off, the noise reduction off. And then let's go over to sharpening, because that's where I'm kind of thinking, oh, we're going to want to make some changes to the image. So it's already looked at the image and it's determined that instead of lens blur, the type of blur that's present is motion blur. So I'll kind of zoom out here a little bit, and we can look at the before and after of the silo here, or not the silo, this isn't a farm. I don't know what you would call that actually. I can't think of it right now, but this part of the castle. And 4%, I think that's good for me. I don't like to sharpen, more than you need to. I'm a big fan of subtlety, but you can see here, especially on the railing right here, just look at the difference in that. You can take it from pretty soft to pretty sharp over here. And what it's done, of course, is it's completely masked out everything except for the castle. So we don't have to worry about that either. We don't need to do any recovery of faces. We don't need to enhance the resolution. The image is already plenty big enough. But that is it. So this is a great way just to finish off your images. Once you've kind of done Lightroom and Photoshop and you just want to sharpen it and remove noise, I can't think of a better way and a quicker way and an easier way to do it than Photo AI. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to you, and we will see you next time.